I've got an awesome Procreate Dreams tutorial for you today, so stick around. Okay guys, we're back. Let me show you what we got going on. I'm going to go into Procreate right here, and this is what I've came up with. So I have got the front part of the pod on one layer, and I've got the back part of the pod on another layer, and that allows me to have the peas move around and look like they're inside the pod. Now the peas are a little bit bigger than the pod, so what I've had to do is I made a duplicate of the pod and I've colored it the same color as the background, and I've lowered it to cover up the bottom of the pod so I can take those peas down and they won't show when they're coming out the bottom. So that's kind of a cover of it, and I put the shadow on the same layer as that cover because they're not animating or anything, so they just basically hides the peas when they go down. As far as the peas, I have got 4 of them. They're all on different layers and they're grouped because I've got the eyes on separate layers. So I've opened up this pea number 4 and you can see I've got the pea with all of its assets on it except for the eyes, and they're on a different layer because they're going to be animated. And that is basically it. I've got my background right there. So let's move on over to Procreate Dreams. Okay, so to start a new file, we're going to click on the little plus right here in the top right corner. Here you're able to scroll through all the different sizes that you might want to use. I'm going to stick with widescreen empty. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to click on the titles right here, which is Dream. Mine's Dream 50. Yours it will probably be Dream and a number, unless you rechange it. We're going to click on that and make sure you're on the top selection up here, star. And we're going to change the frames per second to 12. And we're going to change the duration to 7 seconds. And then you'll have to click on that 1 minute mark right there and hit the backspace to get rid of it. And then hit done, and we should be ready to go. 12 frames per second, 7-second duration of animation, and 1920 by 1080. So let's hit done. And here we are all ready to go. So now we need to bring our Procreate assets over into Procreate Dreams. So there are several ways you can do that. You can import them in, but I find it much easier to go over to Procreate, go into Gallery View here, hold down on it until you can move it around. Don't pick up your finger. Get out of that program, go back into Dreams, and then drop it right in there. And that seems to be the easiest way to get everything in there. Now the assets that we just brought in and the Procreate Dreams size is going to be exactly the same. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get it perfectly in there without some white showing on the edge. So what I like to do is just grab a corner and size it up just a bit, and then we can fit it in there really easily. And that is it. All right, so this is a picture file right now. It's a flat file. Do a 3-finger swipe and we'll stretch that timeline out. So if we were to hit play right now, it's not going to do anything because we haven't animated anything yet. So we need to do that. But we need to get our layers in here. So what we need to do is we need to long press on our file here and then click on Convert Layers to Tracks. Now you can see it has made a group here. And to open that group, you click on that little arrow right there. And now you can see all of the layers that we had in there. Our pod, our back of the pod, and then our kind of mask right there on the bottom. And then the 4 P's in their own little groups here. So when you bring it over from Procreate, it maintains all of the groups that you had. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to get all of the P's off of the screen because they're not going to start in the pod yet. So I'm going to go to the P number 1 here, and actually we probably need to set us a keyframe. So I'm going to click on that little thing and we're going to hit move and move in scale. Now we're going to move him down out of the way. Just about right there. Alright, so that's going to be his starting point. Alright, so that's P number 1. Let's go to P number 2. Click on it, move and scale, and we're going to take him off the screen. And we're going to keep doing that until we get them all off the screen. And then the last one. Move and scale. Take him off the screen. There we go. So that's our starting position for all of the P's. All right. So the first thing that's going to happen is P number 1 is going to pop up. All right. So he's off the screen. We're going to go and let that pod sit there empty for maybe 3/4 of a second. I'm going to go up to the 0.9 mark right there. We're going to click on it again. So that's going to set another keyframe, but still it's in the same position, so it hasn't moved yet. Now we're going to come over just a little bit. We're going to click on it again, and we're going to pop him up above where we want him to stay at. And then we're going to come over just a little bit more, and we're going to have him settle down into his position. So he should go over pop, and then come back down into his resting position. Boom. Okay, so that's our first one. So let's get our second P done. All right. One thing you guys got to make sure is when you can put this to position. So if you're up there on the main track, that's not going to create a keyframe. All right, so you need to be down here on your keyframe track, and you'll see that the symbol changes. You'll be a movie clacker, and then it'll change to this little rescale mark right here. So make sure you're on the rescale mark. Unless you want to start a new type of keyframe, then you'll need to go up there and click on it, and then you can create a new kind of keyframe, either a filter or an edit or something like that. All right, so we got our first P coming up, and then he settles. So we're going to have the next one start about right there. We're going to come over a bit. And we're going to have him over pop, and then come over a little bit more, and then have him settle down into his position. See what that looks like. There's 2 of them. Yep. All right. Now we'll go up to the third one. So right there, we'll set him. Click again, make him overshoot, and then come over just a little bit more, and we'll have him settle down into his resting position there. See what that looks like? Yep. All right, and then our last one. Come over a little bit more, overshoot. All right, and then come over just a little bit more. So you want that first movement to be a little bit wider, so a longer animation, than the one that drops down. Okay, that should be it. Let's see. Pew, 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 pew. All right, very good. That's what we want. All right, now what we want to do is we want to have that pod shake a little bit as they're coming up. So we're going to go to the pod, which is here. All right, now I didn't overdraw it, so we need to make sure when we move it that it's really very small movements, or we're going to see gaps between the background, the back pod, and the front pod. So we don't want to see those. I should have drawn it, but it's a little bit too late now. So anyway, that's just a lesson for future animation. So I'm just going to do the animations a little bit, but you can still see that they're moving. So we're going to click on it and hit move and scale. And then we're going to have it, when that first one pops up, so that's where we're going to have him start moving. So we're going to click again, but we're not going to change the position yet. Now we're going to come over a little bit, and now we're going to click on a corner until we get that little curve line. And see that gap right there? We don't want to see that gap, so we need to move it just a little bit. All right, and then we'll come over a little bit more, and then we'll move it back the other way. You know what? I might bring it up just a little bit. It'll give me a little bit more room. Give me a little bit more wiggle room. I'm just going to wiggle it just a little bit, not much. Just to show that the P's are making the pod rock a little bit. And it doesn't have to be uniform. You can just randomly move it. So I think it makes it look a little bit more natural when you do it that way. So if you're enjoying the content, I have a small favor to ask that makes a huge difference. Subscribing to my channel is like giving a virtual high five, and it means the world to me. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just supporting the channel, you're joining an incredible community of awesome people who love art just as much as you do. Imagine being part of something bigger where every view, like, and comment helps us grow and reach more awesome folks just like you. Plus, subscribing is super easy. It's just one click, but that one click has a ripple effect, helping me create more content, bringing new ideas to life, and spreading positivity all around. And hey, in the spirit of kindness, how about this? Subscribe and then go out and do something nice for someone today. Hold the door open for a stranger, leave a kind note for a coworker, or simply smile at someone who looks like they need it. Let's make the world a bit brighter together. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's make amazing things happen. Thank you for your support. You're the reason this channel exists. Okay, I think that's about it. So they're going to stop right here. And one thing I see that I don't like is you see a little piece of the P right there. So let me see if I can do something with that. Maybe I'm going to start a new track. And I go in the drawing mode, which is that little squiggly line right there, and choose this background color. And I'm going to paint over that little green P right there so we can't see it. But be careful, don't go into the shadow too much. All right, that should hide it right there. I'm going to long press on that and fill duration, so that's going to take it all the way to the end of the animation. All right, still showing about right there. Maybe I'll do another one right here. Drawing mode. Here we go. There's another one right there. Yeah, I think that's about it. You can't see it. It's not that bad, really. So, unless you're really concentrating on that. Okay, let's see what it looks like now when the P's pop up. Here we go. So it's wiggling a little bit. That's what we wanted. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make all of these P's blink. All right, so we're going to have to go into the P groups. So we're going to go in the first one here. We're going to open him up. And let's go where he pops up, right there. All right, we're going to make him blink. Now, here's how I like to do this. You could draw it in where you draw it a little bit close, but the way I like to do it is go into the eye group, which is right here. Then start a new layer on new track on top of that eye. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick that, go into drawing mode, squiggly line again. Click on that P color, which is that green right there. And let me get bigger here so you can see what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw through that eye. And the other one too. All right, and then I'm going to come over a little bit, over here a little bit, and then take it all out. And then from there, it's going to pop back open. All right, see what that looks like? Beep. Yep, that's perfect. And we're going to have them blink one more time about over here. So same thing, basically. Draw through him. Make him half, come over just a little bit. So you want just the very next frame. And then take him all the way out. All right, so now he blinks twice. Blink, blink. Okay, that's what we want. And we're going to do that for each one of them. So I'm going to close that P1 since we're finished with him. We're going to open up P2. All right, and then he's going to start blinking when he pops up. So about right there. So again, start a new track on top of the eyes. Go into drawing mode. We've already got our green color selected, so draw through the, cover the eye up with the green. And then come over right next to him and completely cover it up. All right. Blink. And we do come over a little bit more and do the same thing. Okay, he's blinking. All right, we're done with him. And basically, you're just going to keep doing that. So the same process, we're just going to kind of stagger it. So we're going to wait till he comes up. So right there, and now he's going to start to blink. Oop, you know what I did? I set a movement keyframe, which I don't want. So we need to open up that P. Oh, I had him open already. Right here. Plus, new track. Right there, and we go into drawing mode. Now we got to be careful with them because of the glasses. You don't want to go over the glasses. There we go. And then come over just a little bit more, maybe about a second or 3/4 of a second. All right, and then we're going to do the last one. Take off that drawing mode, close that P group, go into P number 4, open him up, go to the eye, hit plus, new track, and then let me see where he's at, right here. So pop up, drawing mode, they're not together. You can see the gap there. So if you hold down on it and you can slide it over. Here we go. And then one more time. All right, and we're going to close him because we're done with him. Now the last thing that we need to do is we need to make all the P's go away. All right, so we're going to start with that P number 1 first. All right, everybody's blinking, happy. All right, and we're about halfway to our animation. So we're going to start about right there. I'm going to start about the little bit over 4 second mark because our animation is only 7 seconds. So we're going to make sure we're down here on the keyframe line here, and we're going to click on it, and we're not going to move it right there. That's set in the position where it's at. The reason if we do that, if we start moving it here, it's going to start moving from there all the way to there. So we want to set that point first. Then we're going to have him go up. I'm still in drawing mode. Turn that drawing mode off. All right, we're going to have him go up a little bit, and then we're going to have him quickly off the screen. Boom. Okay, and then we're just going to do each one of those just like that. So he's gone. Set the base keyframe. Make him go up, and then he's out. Okay, and then we're just going to stagger him. Base keyframe, up, and then he's out. Okay, and then last one. Base keyframe, up, and then out. All right, and then also we're going to make that pod wiggle again as they're leaving. So when they start leaving, so about right here, we're going to start wiggling that pod now. Make sure we're down there on that keyframe line. All right, we're going to set the base one, and now we're going to have it wiggle. No, we don't want to go down. When this rotation thing, if your finger is not in the exact right position that it wants, it's going to move it instead of rotate it, so you got to be careful. All right, and that is going to do it, everyone. I hope this has helped you. If you've got any questions whatsoever, please put them in the comment section below, and I will answer every one of them. If you are interested in getting these assets, they're over on the Patreon page, and I will put the link to it on the screen right now. And with that, I will see you guys next week for another Procreate or Procreate Dreams tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care.